I didn't know anything about renewing my mind. I had no idea about all this. I'm just going to be real honest, and every guy will understand, and some of you ladies will go, can't believe you really just shared that with us, but it's true, okay. But it's happening more and more with our younger women. I was a Christian about 2.5 years. I was really growing. Now I'm in the Bible. I'm memorizing, maybe a verse like every year or two. And but I am going to church, and I want to do what's right, okay? I mean, I want to do what's right. And I'm experiencing some victory in a number of areas. Actually, God has actually given me a couple times to lead some people to Christ, and I'm beginning to experience the joy of the Lord. I want to be now God's man, and I have one area. I mean, the cussing somehow disappeared, and a number of other things changed, and priorities are changing, and I'm getting up in the morning, and I'm actually reading the Bible and liking it, not like, okay, duty, I mean, and God's speaking to me, but it's like there's this one area of my life I can't lick, and it's lust. And I'm on a campus with 4 girls to every guy, and it's right after the sexual revolution, early 70s, and I mean, I'm sitting there with the basketball team, and, we eat in this big cafeteria, and these girls come down. It's a freshman dorm, 4.3, 9.2, 7. I mean, it was just rating girls, and I'm ashamed. And my eyes would go all kind of places when I talked to girls or when I saw a girl. And and then when I got close to other guys who were farther along in the Lord, I thought, man, they're all struggling with this stuff too. And then I realized I think most people are just faking it. I mean, does anybody have pure thoughts? Or is it possible? And then I have overwhelming guilt. God, I'll never do that again, and never. Please, I'll never. Oh, I'll tell you. Oop, I did it again. And it's just like. And so my roommate was going to a training program where you had to have these 60 verses memorized. It was called the Topical Memory System. And out of my sheer competitive, compulsive, completely non-spiritual, performance-oriented, I want to be a star motivation, as in not very godly, he left the room, and I took his 60 verses, wrote them on 3x5 cards, and he was going to do like 2 or 3 a week. And I thought, if you're going to do this, do it. I'm going to do 1 a day. And so I memorized a verse 1 every day, and I reviewed it because I wanted to have him fore and aft. I wanted to have him cold. And God brought this psychology teacher into my life that had been tenured for about 45 years. And now what we'll be discussing today. And so I would put up my psychology book, and all I did for an hour every day for about 6 weeks is review my verses. And I didn't know anything about mind renewal. I had no idea the correlation, but I can still remember it was my 21st verse on the 21st day. And even running to baseball practice, I'm looking at the cards, put in my back pocket. And I remember meeting a very attractive co-ed who was a very godly woman. And she always made me feel guilty because she was so godly. You ought to have good thoughts towards spiritual, holy girls, and so, I meet her on the quadrangle. We talked. She leaves. And I went, ding. I didn't lust. I didn't make the connection, but, man, I just kept going. And later, as I memorized those verses, I realized my mind was being renewed. And what I realized is the whole pattern of lust was a false belief system, and it was looking at women as objects instead of people. It was a totally warped view of them, of God, of me, and what would satisfy. And the more verses I memorized, my worldview changed, and all of a sudden I began to look at them as sisters, and I wanted to look at them in the eye, and I wanted to help them. I wanted to treat them as sisters. And then all that junky stuff went away, and I had these wonderful, great relationships with girls. Like, man, I didn't know this existed. His good, acceptable, and perfect will.